What do we even talk about? There's so much. But
where do you want to start, pal?
I don't know. So, we'll start here.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you about your half of this in a moment. The NHL playoffs have gone insane over the past week.
Okay.
We got the fucking... Literally yesterday, the Golden Knights beat the Oilers. And it was a buzzer shot in overtime. .02, I think, left on the clock when the puck passes the goal line. It's cool.
I love it.
The Capitals are doing good. I think I have the Capitals. I think I'm behind the Capitals going the entire way through. Okay. Which is weird, because I noticed the Capitals were there, and that they moved on, and I was like, really? The Capitals are here? But it's heating up, it's going. I'm going to look at the actual brackets now and see if there's anything else. I think I expect the Hurricanes to win it all, is what I actually expect to happen, because they're the ones that are looking the most dominant, other than maybe Florida, but we haven't had a back-to-back champ in so long that I kind of don't expect it to happen. And Capitals could be cool, but we're in round 2 now, completely. And we're almost done. Not almost done. There's no deciding games yet, but by the time we're back here, we might have conference winners, let alone round 2 winners. So, no one's at a match point yet, but we're close. We have the final 8 are the Winnipeg Jets, the Dallas Stars, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Florida Panthers, the Vegas Golden Knights, the Edmonton Oilers, the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Washington Capitals. No one has gotten obscene ground on the other. It's pretty evenly split, but like the Capitals and the Carolinas both won round 1 in 5 games, whereas like the Stars and the Jets won it in 7. So it's like, you know how that is. Anyway, how's the NBA playoffs? I heard
Well, before we get into the playoffs,
the one team got clapped.
Breaking news. That's 2 hours ago. NBC just announced that Michael Jordan's going to be a special contributor to their coverage.
Okay.
So Michael Jordan's going to be talking about the NBA, finally.
That's cool. I didn't realize that was a thing he didn't do, but I guess I would have known if he did.
He's like left. Yeah. Like he owned the Bobcats, Hornets for a while, and he never really spoke on anything. Jordan has become like he already was like this like mystic figure, right? But like he barely talks about sports ever.
Yeah, I didn't think about it. Like I said, I kind of always assumed he was, but then I was thinking, it's like, I feel like I would know. I feel like I would see clips of him talking about it.
Yeah, he just doesn't speak, and I'm happy to see that. So the NBA playoffs.
So we're all behind the Timberwolves now, right? That's what's happening?
I'm not. The Timberwolves killed LeBron and Luka, and
Is this your king?
I know, I saw that. Is this your king? That was what a banger. And then, so the remaining matchups are the Timberwolves and the Warriors, the Nuggets and the Thunder, the Pacers and Cleveland, and then the Knicks and the Celtics. I'll get to them later. Timberwolves and the Warriors. Timberwolves have taken the lead in the series. It's up 2-1. Nuggets, I believe, are tied with the Thunder at 2-2. And then the Cavs, or the Pacers, took a 3-1 lead over the Cavs.
Is that your monster?
Last night? Yes.
Okay. I was confused.
Yeah, they took a 3-1 lead over the Cavs last night. So the Celtics and the Knicks. The Knicks went into Boston and won both games.
Yes. It was very close, one of them.
Both.
Okay.
The Celtics blew back-to-back 20-point leads. So I was screaming. I was sending people broom emojis. I'm like, sweet. I was all in. Then we played the other night and we lost by 20. I could sit here and be a delusional fan and say it was going to be a sweep. It was purely hyperbolic. I never thought we were going to sweep the Celtics.
But it was a possibility.
I still don't think so.
Like,
they were historically bad from 3. I knew that wouldn't continue through every game in the series. And I was... Really, this is what my thought process was. We are up 2-0. We've won both games in Boston. They're going to walk in New York. They're going to punch us in the mouth. But we will win the second game in New York. And we will be up 3-1. And it is up to us to not let this go to a Game 7. Because if we let it go to Game 7, I guarantee it will lose. But if we win tonight, I think we win it in 5. I don't know why I believe that, but like if they tie the series back up at 2-2, I think we lose in 6. If we go up 3-1, I think we win in 5. There's also, I believe there's a strong chance we go up 3-1, we lose in 7.
So where's Game 5? Is that in New York or in Boston?
Game 5 is in Boston. Okay. It's 2 in Boston, 2 in New York, 1 in Boston, 1 in New York, 1 back in Boston. Because they were the higher seed. So they have home field advantage.
Yeah, we don't do it that way.
I love...
We give the higher seed still gets home field advantage, but we do 2-3-2.
Okay.
So it's still...
Yeah, more. They still get more, but...
Yeah. Like, I remember... This is where I'm just like, I kind of understand where your mentality is at. Because when the Phils were in the World Series last in 2022, the entire thing was, we need to get... as early as possible, we need to get that win in Houston. Because once we get the win in Houston, we don't need to win. We get one win in Houston. Don't need to win again in Houston. Just need to win in Philly, where we're the strongest because it's fucking Philly.
Yeah.
So, and that's not what happened. Obviously.
Yeah.
We won one in Houston, lost one in Houston, came back, slapped the shit out of them in the first one in Philly, and then they dog walked us the rest of the series.
Yeah.
Like we had, like there was a no, like the Houston Astros then pitched a no-hitter in Philly. That's how bad it was. Like,
yeah, I'm confident. I love this team. What the basketball fan in me wants to see, truthfully, if the Knicks, no matter what, if the Knicks make it to the finals, I want the Knicks to win, right? But if the Knicks don't make it, if we get knocked out, I don't want anybody from the East to win it. I don't care if it's Cleveland, Indiana, or Boston, whoever else is there. I don't want any of those teams to win. The West is a little bit different. Because it's basically, I want whoever wins the Golden State Timberwolves series to win it all. Let me say it like this. If the Knicks win, I want the Timberwolves to make it. If the Knicks lose, I want Golden State to make it. I want Jimmy Butler to have a championship.
Okay.
And I think it does a lot for his legacy for them to have been trending down at the trade deadline to trade for him when everybody said it was a horrible trade. Nobody should trade for Jimmy Butler. He's beyond it. He isn't the guy that he used to be. The same slander that Jimmy Butler gets every year because he doesn't play super hard in the regular season. It's like, when you get I don't understand NBA fans. When we give players the nickname playoff, whatever their name is, that player, that's an elite player to me. Anybody who has playoff as a nickname, like, they turn up in the playoffs. Playoff Jimmy Butler might be the greatest playoff player I've ever seen.
You should also note that means that they've shown up
in the playoffs when it matters.
To get that name.
Like, Jimmy Butler has 2 finals appearances.
Yeah.
Like, under his belt. Like, he deserves this recognition. Like, people may want to forget it, but the bubble, he was the East representative with the Heat. He also played Jokic for his first title. He lost both. I want to say in 6 both times, or maybe it was the Lakers won that ring in 5. I can't necessarily remember. But, like, and Jimmy, it was never Jimmy's fault. It was nobody else showed up for Jimmy on those teams. Or the other team was just a better team. It is what it is. But it wasn't like the East was weak when Jimmy made those runs.
Yeah.
Like, Jimmy had to go through Boston and Milwaukee in both those series, in both those runs. Like, he continues to have to go through these mega teams that everybody says are going to win a ring at the beginning of the year. And then when Jimmy beats them, it's like we just forget about it. So, Jimmy going to Golden State, them turning it around, Jimmy playing immaculately. I still think he's the best player on the court for them. If anything, it's 1A, 1B with Steph Curry, but it's close. I wouldn't be mad for somebody to say Jimmy Butler's the best player on that team. I really wouldn't. And I think it's also, I value defense highly. I think more than the average fan. I would say more than most fans, even not just the average casual fan. If you are a I believe in like drafting like defense only players and it not being bad. I don't know. I love defense. But that's me with every sport. Almost all my favorite players are defenders. So I don't want Jimmy Butler to beat me. But if I'm not there, I want Jimmy Butler to beat the field. And if I want the Timberwolves to go, because one, I don't want to have to play Jimmy Butler in the finals. And then two, the Knicks and the Timberwolves made a massive trade in the offseason, trading Cat for Julius Randle. And in the beginning it was the Knicks won the trade, Cat's playing a mate like Cat, the first I'm gonna say third of the year, was in MVP conversations, playing amazing. And he's turned down a little bit, but not that much. Not MVP levels, but he was an all-star. I would assume he's probably going to be all-pro. And Julius Randle has figured it out. Because they didn't know how it was going to fit with the Timberwolves. And now Julius Randle is playing really well. And I like Julius Randle. I was a Knicks fan that liked Julius Randle. I'm never going to listen to anybody say, I like Julius Randle his first year in New York. Because he wasn't good. But I like Julius Randle his second year when he made an all-pro team. Or all-NBA, not all-pro, sorry. All-NBA team. And I think he got treated very harshly by Knicks fans. I think we were very mean to him for not no reason. Because he's a very emotional player. You can read his face. And you could tell he was getting frustrated. And Knicks fans don't do well with that. We're very harsh on our players, which I wish we would chill out a little bit. Maybe we wouldn't cause players to pout and leave. But it is what it is. I would love to see that matchup. I would love to see Cat versus Julius. Julius coming back to the Garden. Julius coming back to the Garden for a finals game just sounds like poetry. I would love to see that. Plus, it's Anthony Edwards, one of the most electric players in the league. And if he got a ring this early, that would be nice. Not against me, but I would. Just the thought of seeing Jalen Brunson lift an NBA championship before Luka Doncic makes my day. They used to play with each other in Dallas. And Dallas wouldn't pay him either. And he left and he came to the Knicks.
But from an outside perspective, assuming that the Celtics just do what Boston apparently does and just goes, seeing the Timberwolves go all the way, and three of those teams them having to go through are historically the three top teams in the NBA. Does that not have some sort of spice to it? If they go through the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Celtics, plus whatever team they face in the conference finals.
Now, see, this is the thing with the Timberwolves. It depends on who comes out of that other series, because I think there's one team they just beat. And I couldn't tell you why, but I just have a feeling. If the Thunder make it out of that series, I think the Timberwolves actually beat the Thunder.
Okay.
But if Jokic and the Nuggets make it out of that series, I don't think they deal with Jokic. I think Jokic tears them apart. It would... I don't know how good of a run people would say it is. Because this is what I would say with regular NBA discourse. They would say it was a Lakers team that wasn't built for Luka to be on it. It was a LeBron and AD team that gutted themselves, had no depth, and just had Luka Doncic on the court. So it wasn't built optimized around those two players. A Golden State team that struggled the first half of the year and then got a shot of life with Jimmy Butler, and then they're old and just fell apart. Then into the next one of... It's a young OKC team with their best player being a 25-year-old surrounded by a bunch of young draft picks and young stars that don't know how to win in the playoffs yet, with a very limited veteran presence in bench players, and then going into the finals against
the defending NBA
champions. If it's the Celtics, then the Celtics that almost lost the series to the Knicks, and a Celtics team that has a superstar who refuses to show up and be a superstar with Jason Tatum, or either Cleveland or I think it's pretty much wrapped up that Indiana's going to beat Cleveland. They're up 3-1, and Cleveland, something's wrong with Donovan Mitchell. I think he's hurt. Or an Indiana team that nobody believes in and doesn't have a top 10 player on it. That would be more of the conversation, actually. If Indiana makes it and wins, I think that's the most impressive ring. Because I would like to say us, but I think going into the year, the average consensus would be that we had a better team than the Pacers. Because I think we were supposed to beat them last year, then all our players got hurt. And then they went to the conference finals last year instead of us to play the Celtics. And then I think they may have won a game. I think they lost in 5. I think going into this year, people were like, okay, well, the Knicks will be healthy this year, and they're better. They should win. So I would think the most impressive would be,
Indiana?
Yeah.
Okay. The weirdly named Pacers.
Yeah, the Indiana Pacers. I want them to lose. They are now like my most hated team. And it sucks because I like all their players. Just something about Indiana. I don't know.
That's how I feel about the LA Dodgers. Fucking hate that team. God damn, are their players cool. Mookie Betts? Bruh. Freddie Freeman? Bruh. Shohei Ohtani? Bruh.
You know what it is with the Pacers? It's that I would hate to see this. This is going to sound so disrespectful. I would hate for this Pacers team, with the players that they have on it now, to win a ring, but the Pacers in the early 2000s didn't, when I think their team was infinitely better back then. They had like players like not Lance Stevenson. That's way too late. I'm talking Steven Jackson, Reggie Miller, Jermaine O'Neal. Like they had all these amazing, Ron Artest. Like that might be one of the greatest teams to never win a championship, and they didn't because they were like in the middle of the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, and then the Detroit team in early 2000s that beat Shaq and Kobe. It's like I would be so mad that if this Pacers team that I just don't think is that good wins and then they don't. But maybe in 20 years I'll look back and say that about this team because I think that's basically the sentiment around the Pacers back then the 2000s. Like we don't really want to say who do they really have, but now looking back on it, like yeah, they really do have. I think the only difference would be Reggie Miller because Reggie was really old and was an NBA legend at that point, and it was his like final huzzah run.
I also just don't buy into that kind of discourse. I hear your discourse, I understand it. I just never buy into that kind of stuff.
In the what?
That oh sure the Timberwolves beat these teams, but like they're these teams going through these things. Okay, those teams that are still at these points in the play. Like in the end, it doesn't matter who they beat. Getting to the NBA championship game
the finals
is still like, oh, you still achieved this much. And it would be, I believe, I just looked it up so I know it's correct, the Timberwolves' first title.
They haven't even made it out of the conference finals.
Yeah, so.
They've never made a finals appearance. Closest they came was last year against the Mavs, where I want to say, lost in 5. Yeah, everybody thought that series was going to be close, and then the Mavs kind of dominated, and I was like, what the hell?
That, I think, Timberwolves is a cool name, especially from a Minnesota team. There's a new stadium coming to D.C. They're building the Dome Stadium for the Northeast. The thing that I kept saying that Philly should just get on and do, because it will bring a lot of business, because all of our stadiums up here are open air, it's been approved. It's the old RFK site. They're finally demolishing it, and they're building a new big Dome Stadium. WrestleMania D.C. in a few years. Here we fucking go.
Here we go.
Let's fucking go. I get to be close to a WrestleMania without having to sit in the freezing fucking cold because it's the beginning of April. That Philly Mania banged, but it was fucking cold.
I'll have to go to that one. I think I have 0 NFL news.
That's good. That's good. Are you sure about that? That was the NFL news, I feel like, the DC New Stadium.
Derek Carr spontaneously retired
because
of medical problems with his shoulder and stuff. And he just walked away from $30 million and retired. Which opens up the Aaron Rodgers to New Orleans rumors. Because they have no quarterback on the roster. Like, they do. They have, like, 3 guys, but you're not walking into the year with that. But so I could see Aaron Rodgers going to New Orleans now, but we'll see.
So I do have one baseball thing, if you're done with that.
I am done with that.
Okay.
Because it's Aaron Rodgers, and it makes me sleepy.
There was a bit of Jersey news in the MLB as well. Another City Connect for this year was unveiled. It was a new one for the White Sox, which is sad because the White Sox were one of the really good ones. These uniforms have had some kind of discourse. People didn't like them for certain reasons. I feel like you would really like them for a very specific reason. So these are the new White Sox City Connects.
Okay, so is it because they're pinstripes is why I would like them, or what? What is the reason?
Is that not the Jordan?
That is literally what that is.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what that's what they are.
Pinstripe Jordans, brother.
They're okay. They're not bad. There's a lot of bad City Connects, and those just aren't bad. I do think that part of the issue why it's so much discourse is because they were replacing the best ones.
Okay.
Those were those blackout South Side with the white pinstripes. So
that's
like,
sick.
well, we were talking about future movies coming out and how maybe it would be easier if we just went to see it and then recorded afterwards, and then we just didn't do that. It just both went and saw the movie by ourselves. But a movie came out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thunderbolts is what we're talking about, right?
I was talking about the new Avengers, but like, go off.
Alright, how do you want to do this? My thought was we count it down 3, 2, 1, give it a rank out of 10, and then talk about it.
Okay, I have to think about what its ranking is out of 10.
6.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I gave it an 8. It was either an 8 or a 7.5. It was right there.
That movie would have got like an 8.5 out of me if it was just the first 2/3 of the movie. The final act, I literally, I'm watching the movie, and then they start playing like the end of the movie music that plays in the background as we get to like the final real big shot, and then it cuts to black and you get the credits or whatever. I was like, no, this movie's not ending. I said this out loud to Darian. I'm like, no, the movie's not over. The movie's not. What? I thought the last fight was so underwhelming. And then, I've thought about it since. Like, but like, what else do you do?
Yeah, I thought it was nice.
Really? I don't know. I think that was the problem with having 5 jobbers fight one of the strongest people in Marvel Comics. And I probably should have prepared for that coming into it, but I just thought literally anything else. I just didn't feel like we had a final altercation.
It was an emotional, therapeutic release, not a we punch it until it dies release.
I get that. I don't think they did a very good job of doing that.
So, my only complaint with that final part was they did when we're in the voiding or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah, the void.
When we're in the room's scape or whatever. And I'm thinking of the part where Yelena then goes up and is like, I'm here. That I like. Because we've spent a long time, that entire movie, building up this relationship between these two. And I just mean relationship in the general sense. And that's nice. And then each person starts to break away and join in. And at first it's like, okay, well, Ava and John have been there. And like we got some good stuff with John Walker and those two. And then Red Guardian jumps in. And I love Red Guardian, but like, we weren't really there. And then Bucky jumps in and I was like, okay. Like, I feel like it just should have been the first. Either just him, Yelena, or him, Yelena, Ava, and John. I don't need Red Guardian and Bucky to jump in there because that doesn't do. Cause
I feel that, but I feel that with the other 4. Like, I disagree with the Ava and John one.
I think the best one would be just with Yelena, but there was a decent amount of building, especially with John, where John was just trying to kind of being himself in how he was interacting, didn't realize why that was such a big deal, kind of realized it and adjusted it. Like, it's just...
Yeah, like, I get what you're saying. I just think, maybe I'm just thick, or maybe I'm...
But I was like, Bucky, you don't know that man. That man has never met
I don't think they convinced me at all of any of those people that they grew... Like, other than Yelena, and I'd still... Now, Yelena and Bob, I feel like are the only 2 that I saw actual growth in the movie from. Like, they showed me traumatic stuff for John. I don't really see the growth. I guess a little bit with, like, instead of... I don't know. Maybe you could. I just don't think it was enough. I just felt like there was not enough build-up for the ending that they chose. What I also heard, I heard somebody's opinion about this movie that I was like, if that would have happened, I think I actually like the ending. And I'd be fine with it. It should not have just been Yelena was the only one that dealt with rooms and then found Bob. We should have went through rooms for every single person.
I specifically would have liked to see the room for Ava because we don't ever
Yeah.
get it. At least, John, we get something in the beginning.
Yeah. And
We don't get anything for Ava, and I was like, I feel like we should be getting
I would have loved
something
it.
for her.
I would have loved to got a reenactment or a look at a Winter Soldier murdering any important, vulnerable person, a child, whatever, from a different angle, and watching Bucky deal with it. Getting maybe Red Guardian specifically, I think would have been the best one to watch him to like actually see how much he hated giving up the kids. If you just the plane scene where they land on the plane, he gives a kid. I would have loved for them to have just done that again, and then it actually just watch him kind of be like, this is the biggest mistake I've ever made, and like stuff like that. Like we disagree on the John Walker one, but I get why you feel the way you do.
To clarify, I don't see really much personal growth from John, but I see more him actually forging connections with them. Not the only personal growth
them,
I think we see is
yeah.
Yelena and Bob. I think that is the only personal growth we see.
Yeah.
But like John, it's more of a building connections that we don't see John do because his life has fallen apart kind of thing. Oh, kind of from his own hand.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I might be a little bit blinded on this because I just like John Walker as a character.
I also do too.
From not just from Falcon Winter Soldier and Thunderbolts, from the comics. I like U.S. Agent. I really enjoyed his rooms scene that we did get.
Yes,
I thought they did a really good job of showing that it's just the super soldier serum thing again.
Yeah.
What is his problem? Well, he's always had problem dealing with his emotions, and the super soldier serum has upped everything, just as it does with everyone. And it's like, why is he all of a sudden lashing out? Because he can't deal with the fact that the public hates him.
Yeah. A great soldier is not a good Captain America.
Yeah.
And I think that's his qualm, his struggle.
Yeah.
Is that like I was the soldier. I was that guy.
Yeah.
And then I became Captain America and I was horrible.
Yeah. So I liked his stuff in the movie, and I think they give me enough. Maybe he does get a little bit of personal growth, because it feels like he understands a little bit more, but it's not a lot. There's still more from him. Who knows if we'll ever get it.
I can feel it after Bucky says out loud, we know after your wife and your kid left you, and then everybody else figures out, because I think he struggles from not looking perfect.
Because Captain America
is perfect, and like he's always been perfect. Like he was like the state quarterback and all that shit, and with the championships, and has all those awards for the army and stuff like that. And then him being portrayed as this failure, I feel like is his biggest problem. And when Bucky kind of just blows up his spot, from then on, I can see him just working better with everybody.
Yeah.
Even the way he addresses Bob, even though Bob is the Sentry now, like I feel a difference there. So like that's why I see where you're coming from when you say with John also, I don't get the Ava one. She just felt like nothing the entire movie to me. But she was also, this is the issue, she felt like nothing in a growth sense. I didn't dislike any of the characters. I think everybody did a good job. There was not a character where I was like, all right, man, get this person off the show. I never had a Aquafina moment with any of these characters. Everybody was good, and I was very shocked because I was like, I'm going to walk in here, there's going to be somebody I cannot stand. I walked in preparing for it to be Red Guardian because I didn't like him in Black Widow. But then I watched him in which was perfect.
Which was just a you and me disagreement. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because it's It might be the same thing with the Yelena. The thing that people say about me with Yelena is just because I like her just because she's played as Florence Pugh. It might just be because it's David Harbour.
I know, but I love David Harbour.
I fucking love David Harbour.
But I think it was Black Widow I thought was going to be a serious movie, and then I felt like the movie was too jokey for a movie that I felt like should have been more serious, and then he was the most ridiculous one out of all of them, and it just made me dislike him worse. He's now in this movie where everybody says they like the jokes and I think this movie was really funny. I don't think it was super funny, But I think when we could get off a joke, we got off a joke, and I was like, "That's funny."
The comedy was actually well timed.
Yeah,
and well
yes.
and not
And then he was the comedy guy, and I was like, "Okay, I really like you." I was like, when you're not put in a joke of a movie, and they use you to where you succeed, you're great. And I loved him. He was like my second favorite character. I still don't get the Yelena hype. I'll never understand.
I think, to kind of circle back to Ava, I think she just suffers from not having that room or backstory moment at the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
I think that's where she suffers the most. Because I think if you start reading into it and looking, her, oddly enough, disappearing but still coming back seems nice, but it almost lacks a motivation. Because we get to see... Obviously, we know Yelena's motivation, but we get to see it a lot. We get to see John's here and there, and that really builds it. And that's your core of the movie. So you need all three of them to be there, and they just don't give it for her, and it just...
Yeah, Ava never has that moment in the... Like, the entire movie, I think, Ava's on our side. I'm never convinced that, Ava is morally questionable. Yeah. Because... Every time they always consider her oh, she just left. And then she always just never leaves. She always just does the right thing.
Yeah.
They don't even show, her walking away, when she was getting them out of the oven. They don't, cut to her outside and being and then leaving, and then coming back at the last second. It just took that amount of time to get the door open. And then with the truck, the same thing. It's Ava's been good the entire time.
Yeah.
And what I thought they were doing that was, I thought this was going to be Suicide Squad. I didn't expect there to be one death in the movie, it be in the first 10 minutes, and then no character dies after that.
Yeah.
So,
finish up the Ava thoughts, because I do want to talk about Taskmaster.
I think that's all I have for Ava, is that, I never think that Ava's ever not going to be there. Yeah. I just always think, Ava's a good guy.
Yeah, I think it was just a lack of building a foundation for that character who we haven't seen since before Endgame.
Yeah.
So obviously we knew Taskmaster was going to die. They did a very bad job of hiding that.
Yeah, the chair reveal is the rough one.
So in some way I almost appreciate that she dies almost immediately.
Yeah.
But also, really?
What?
We just immediately.
I don't, and I agree with you now with hindsight, but while I'm watching the movie, I'm not upset about it. Yeah. Because I believe it's a Thunderbolts, which is supposed to be the Suicide Squad equivalent, whether you want to yell at me for making that equivalency or not, whatever. That's what I see the Thunderbolts as. Nobody else died in the movie. If someone else dies, I don't think I care about her dying in the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
Because I just equivalent that to that being Team A in the Suicide Squad movie.
Okay. I think...
I was just convinced Ava was going to go. I was...
Yeah.
And you know what? This was stupid of me. When when Yelena walks into the shadow and dies, or goes into the shadow thing, my jaw was at the floor because I was like, oh my gosh, she just killed herself. Because from what I understood, you go into the shadow, you're and this is one of the issues that I have with the movie. Because this doesn't make sense. If you come back after the void goes away, or I guess this can be explained away, but they haven't explained it. If the void is not out, the void goes away, and everybody who is in the void is released. Yelena breaks into that lab in the beginning of the movie. There are 2 shadow guys in that lab. Because the lab in the final scene is the lab from the first scene. And I picked that out immediately. I was like, back there are 2 shadow guys that are just standing there. That's because of the void. So, is it that the void has to be defeated? And then those people get released? Or does the void just have to... I guess that's what it has to be. Because I thought Yelena died. I was like, oh, she's dead. She killed herself. It was too much, and I was like... And in my head, I'm like, that is an amazing decision. I back that 1,000%. Because I 100% believe that from her. Because as much as they just had that conversation with it, or she just had that conversation with Alexei about, my sister died, I needed you. Or my sister died twice, or whatever she says. And, I needed you. And you weren't there for a year. as much as if you want to put into the, well, I get that is what they do. That she's now like on the up and up. She's had that heart to heart, and now she's ready to be a hero. I am 100% also bought into that. Just was enough is too much too late, and then she just kills herself. I wouldn't have been mad at that, and I actually think I would have liked it. But then you have to beat the Void with 4 jobbers, which as a movie probably doesn't work. So going into the Void and doing all the stuff in there is what makes sense. But that didn't make sense to me. That why those 2 guys are still there in shadow, but the Void is obviously not there because he's locked up as Bob.
I think you got there yourself. I think that
it has to be defeated.
So it has to be defeated. I think Bob has to let them out, and before where it's he.
I would have loved if one the like jokey after credit scene was those 2 guys
coming back,
but like falling because that build or just like walking and it's all rubble. And
yeah, because it had been destroyed.
That would have been funny and would have answered my thing, but I don't know. It's fine. I have issues with the movie. Most of them the only thing good about this movie, I didn't walk out and then had a bunch of problems afterwards. It was all the problems I've had were what I had while watching, and that's it. So, yeah, over to you. I just yapped for 10 minutes. My apologies.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ava's the weakest of the bunch. I don't think you could do a Red Guardian Rooms moment. I don't think I need one from Bucky. It's called the MCU. It's called every Captain America movie that we've ever had. Any Captain America project, with the exception of Cap 4, that we've ever had, we've seen Bucky's trauma. So I don't really need to see it again. I'm okay with him cracking the joke about, it's like, oh yes, I've had a great past. But like, a good portion of the Falcon and Winter Soldier was dedicated to him accepting it and moving on. So
I feel you, but I think I was at that point that you just said before the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. Then I got the scene where he kills that kid's son, and I'm like, damn, I could watch this every fucking time. And maybe that's just me being sadistic, but like that has weight. Watching him, like, I think it just makes Bucky. Every time I see something like that, it just makes me like Bucky more, which sounds crazy, but it's like he's had to deal with all this shit. Yeah.
But I don't think the movie needs to remind us of that. I think we know who this guy is at this point. And
yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't think it's a negative to show me.
So especially when we have to do it with everyone else, which we should be doing it with, again, at least the main 3. It's crazy they didn't do anything with Ava. I understand why we focused on Yelena. She is, I believe she's our top billing star of the movie.
But yeah, maybe.
Like, she was definitely poised as the main character throughout the story, so...
Yeah, it's who the movie starts with, so yes.
Yeah.
Did you know that was practical?
I did.
She did it herself?
Yeah, she did it herself.
That's badass.
They told her not to, and she complained.
She Tom Cruised it, yeah.
She was like, if Tom Cruise can do it, like, yeah, I jump off the building.
I feel her, though. She's a badass. And it sucks. I like her, but I have not seen a movie that I like her in yet.
It's a shame.
It sucks, because she seems sick. I think it's because I haven't seen Midsommar, and I believe she's in that. Okay, let me ask you, how do you feel about them being the new Avengers?
So, I'll do one of my 2 first. One, just base not being a super fucking nerd about it. I like it. Me being a super fucking nerd about it, that's a different team. Shouldn't they be the Dark Event? Like that. Like, the super fucking nerd about it is we should have been using a different name. But I don't mind it. I think it's kind of cool. I would have liked for them to wait a bit longer than the opening weekend for them to reveal that that's what the asterisk was in all the marketing. But, because that was something that I saw and knew before I went to go see the movie.
I didn't know that.
But, like, it's fine.
I would have rather them just stayed the Thunderbolts. I really don't like them as the new Avengers, and it's purely a power thing.
See, this is where,
if they don't make the joke in the movie that we all do the same thing, I don't think I hate it as much. But it's like that we're self-aware that these are 5 guys with guns, and then 1 super soldier, or I guess 2 super soldiers, 3 super. So literally it is 3 guys that do the same thing, and then 2 people. your best character
Ghost
is the weakest.
Super.
What?
Ghost is also super. She's not a super.
Yeah, she has superpowers. Yeah, it's like our leader is the least powerful.
I did make the joke to Hannah of like, there are 3 Captain Americas on this team.
Yeah, it's like, are we for real? For real? The only thing that saves it is Bob.
There are Avengers teams, and I use the term Avengers loosely because there's a ton of different named Avengers teams in Marvel Comics. There are ones that are lower power.
Yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. I don't really care. It's just like, it makes sense in the story, which is why I'm fine with it.
Yeah, and I think that's my thing too. Is it makes more sense. I can nerd out about it and be like, well, the new Avengers is this team that does all this stuff, and
but they've already gone so far away from certain things. I don't care anymore. The decision they made that I was happy about, like, see, there's a lot. I gave it a 6, but it's just because I really do think the ending is super anticlimactic, and it's because I have the issue with like I just am not connected with 2/3 of the main team, and that ending doesn't make sense for me in that way. It's why I hit it down so low. The fact that they don't make what's her name, DeFontaine, like I thought it was going to be, she was still going to be this big head honcho and have this over them or whatever. When they lean over and they're like, now we own you, that was my favorite decision. Because it was like, I don't need, like, Fontaine lost. She needed to lose because, and she is no Amanda Waller, and I don't want her anywhere near, I don't have any feeling for her like that I do for Amanda Waller. Amanda Waller, I am convinced will never lose. She lost. Like, there was, like, she pivoted, and then pivoted again, and then pivoted again, and then lost again. Like, she never found a dub.
Yeah. In the end, we probably should have seen it coming because the new Avengers is like where Sentry is just about from.
Your favorite character was Yelena, I would assume.
I don't think I have a clear-cut favorite character. It's between Yelena, John. I just really like what John brings.
Yeah, Bob was my favorite character of the entire movie.
That's fair.
And it was not close. They did such a good job. I never thought they would be able to do Sentry, and I feel like they did an amazing job. And Void looked amazing. I am so happy they didn't do nothing stupid. Like, I ranked Captain America: Brave New World higher than this movie. I gave that a 7.5. I gave this a 6.5. They butchered the leader. I was so worried they were going to do something stupid with Void. They just didn't. They just said, we're going to just do it. And God, did it look good. And Sentry, I think, looked amazing. I love that they called out the blonde hair. And let's talk about... So, there wasn't a lot of CGI in this... Well, not a lot of, like, evident CGI in this movie.
It was mostly practical sets as well.
Yeah. The Sentry fight... I got a little bit of that, like, what do they call that? Wanky Valley? No, not...
Uncanny Valley?
Uncanny Valley thing watching it a little bit. Like, I could feel, I was like, this is obviously CGI or whatever. Like, I could see it and I feel it. But God, did all of his moves have weight. It felt like he was going off. And, like, it didn't really take me out, but, like, I could feel it every once in a while. But I'm like, damn, is that good? That fight was good. I should bang. You also can't convince me that an Avengers team couldn't take down a convoy of 3 trucks.
Bucky blowing each of them up.
Yep.
And then blowing them up. It was
a good scene. It was fun.
Done so well.
It was fun.
I love Red Guardian.
I
love Red Guardian so much.
I will sleep when I'm dead! I think I want someone else to drive.
When they're in the desert, and the 4 of them at that point, just like working on getting, and you just see the car coming, I started laughing. I started laughing into Stitch's head. I was like, what? And I was like, it's so funny.
So good, bro. Like I said, I love that part of the movie. All like,
he's yelling, he pulls out the thing, he's like, he better be in full costume, and then he's like, yes.
Because I used to say, when I left it, this is the only thing that's changed since I left the movie. I used to say the second half I hated. Now it's just the final act, like the last third, because I forgot how much I love the conversation with Alexi and Bucky up front. He's like, okay, so what is plan? Plan? And then it just cuts to them driving through the front of the building. And then do all the fight, which is a badass choreography. Everything was good about that whole fight. And you're like, it was it's unlocked. I wanted you to come up. And then Bucky's just like,
I left the door on the
he just headbutts that guy. I'm like, this is perfect. This is peak cinema.
Also, in the front seat of the moving truck, what variant super soldier serum did you get?
That was made by Mother Russia.
Something. Oh, that's premium.
Premium.
When they're trying to escape the building and John's just like, I got this. Jumps up.
Yeah, and then comes back down.
And then comes back down. It's a bit higher than I thought. We didn't talk enough about the beginning of the movie, I think.
Beginning of the movie,
I enjoy when they're hunting each other and John is just like, obviously she might have did that with you, but I used to be Captain America, so obviously that's not. And just in denial and then has to accept, no.
The immediate, like, it's like they all come to terms with it, like, faster than I thought they would, which was perfect.
Because truthfully, Yelena is smart enough that she should be able to.
Yeah, Yelena put that shit together immediately.
So. It's like she did, and I thought at the beginning of the movie, I was like, Valentina just agreed to make her like a front-facing hero way too quickly.
Yeah.
And then it started, and I was like,
when she's in the situation where she really can't.
Yeah.
She's about to get impeached.
Yeah. And then what begins to happen. I was like, oh, that's why. Because she's supposed to die.
Yeah.
This is a suicide mission.
I was like, that bangs.
Which is as close to actual Thunderbolts as it gets, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, this episode's not over.
Yeah, what do we... Oh, Jesus.
We can condense. Screw any Raw and SmackDown stuff that's happened with the exception of Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman and the death of everyone on those rosters.
Yeah.
They killed Sami Zayn and it was beautiful.
Yep.
And Sami Zayn is winning the Rumble. And I will not waver on this. And I need to complain because they did a title match, the Raw before Backlash, between Seth and Jay. And I didn't expect Jay to lose the title. I expected something to happen.
Yeah.
And he wins. Braun interferes. Sammy comes down. Braun is like, okay, and kills him again. And then also spears Jay while the ref is distracted and puts him in the ring. He spears Sammy. He spears Jay. Throws him into the ring. Seth stomps him. And he's over Jay's corpse, ready to pin him. And CM Punk's music hits. And I'm yelling at the screen, Seth, just fucking pin him. It's CM Punk. He's going to wait for his music to play for a couple of minutes before he comes out, and then he has to deal with Breaker before he gets to you. You're going to get your ass whooped. But you can get your ass whooped as world champion.
Yeah.
The fuck? Pin him. Pin him. He's like, I can't believe CM Punk is coming, and I'm like, fucking pin him. Now, if Punk appears and pulls the ref out of the ring, or if something else happens, then it's fine. Or like when Sammy does it, Seth is like getting ready to stomp, and that's when Sammy comes out. Like it's just the fact that Jay is dead.
Yeah.
Pin him. Right fucking now, please. And be world champion. And then get your ass beat by CM Punk. Because CM Punk's not getting through Braun Breaker in 3 seconds. CM Punk's also going to wait for a decent amount of his music to play before he even comes out. Pin him. Seth, I love you. What the fuck? Other than that, all roads lead to Backlash. Backlash happened. I enjoyed this pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. Did you even watch it?
Nope.
You said you were going to buy it.
Yep. So
Backlash 2025 and new predictions champion. Full sweep. All 5 correct. Can I tell you a secret?
What?
I thought there was no chance that Hannah would lose the predictions. Because I thought hers were correct.
She had the same as me, but we both had Becky, and then she had Gunther, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
These were the differences. All of us said Jacob. All of us said Dom. You and her said Becky, and I said Lyra. Both me and her said Gunther, and you said Pat. And then we all had Cena. I took Lyra because of how title stuff works. If I had picked all the same as hers and we're just both right completely, I don't get anything. So I chose Lyra specifically.
So you could possibly
win. I had something. And just like in general, so we could have different scores. Like, it's not fun if every pay-per-view, me and her just have the same scores every time.
Right.
That's why some of hers were different for Mania, too.
I have a question for you. Is me picking Pat another really stupid pick, like from, is it really that bad?
It's not as bad as some of your Mania ones. I understand. You could argue it. I don't think you actually were thinking of how you could argue it, but you could argue it.
I was trying. Because I was like, I had this feeling, I was like, I feel like everybody's picking Gunther, but I have this feeling that Pat just gets retribution. And all I kept saying was Pat talk about how when he retired, he ran into this WWE guy, and he had been talking about it like all week, about how he wanted to be in WWE and how he was like, I was like, there is just a feeling, and I just feel it, like, this is it. This is like, you don't know how bad I wanted it to be the Pat transition, to just be like, fuck announcing, let's actually fully buy in, and just fucking go for it. And I was like, come on. oh, please do this. And
he's had matches before, and they've all been.
I know, but I just like Pat a lot, and I just want him to. Yeah.
I don't think it was as dumb as, like, your Mania prediction that LA Knight was going to retain his title. Stuff like that. Like, I don't think it was completely...
That was a purely hatred pick.
There was a chance that there was going to be interference. So, like, it's not colossally stupid. And again, it gives you a different prediction that... Like, because in reality, you want all the predictions to be different, if by a little. Apparently, people disagree with me on this, but I'm standing my truth on this. This pay-per-view banged. This pay-per-view was amazing.
I saw, some people didn't like it. I thought it was very underwhelming.
I don't know what there was to be underwhelmed about. And again, maybe people will disagree, and they can disagree, that's fine, I don't care. All the matches were amazing. Like, kicks off with the Fatal 4-Way. Damian, Priest, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, Sikoa, Jacob Fatu. It was an all-gas, no-breaks affair. Everything goes hard. Priest and McIntyre are going to feud forever, I think. They go off to the side just trying to kill each other and then, like, do, like, a mega...
Yeah.
South of Heaven chokeslam. Solo Sikoa comes out to keep LA Knight from winning. Jacob Fatu is like, I don't need you, it's fine. And then in his one possible need moment, debut Jeff Cobb, who is cool. And, like, that has a little bit of Triple H... putting the people that look like each other in, because Jeff Cobb is Hawaiian, not Samoan, not Tongan, he's Hawaiian, so it feels a lot like that's a Pacific island, it's close enough, and, like...
Not really, yeah.
It's not, at all. There was 100% going to be a line on SmackDown about how, while he was in Hawaii, Peter Maivia played poker with Jeff Cobb's father or something, like, it's...
That's funny as shit.
It's... But, like, still, the match banged, Jacob retained, it was fun. It's unfair, sometimes. It's unfair how much chemistry two people can have. And it's unfair that it is two people that... Sometimes you have feuds. Like Randy Orton and John Cena, for example. Who, it feels like they're destined to fight a lot because of their similarities and when they joined and stuff like that. Becky and Lyra, because they're both Irish breakouts, because they both toured the UK and all this other stuff, they should be feuding all the time. And you stack that with... They just make sense in the ring. The way that they interact and the way that they wrestle, their chemistry is off the charts. Their matches before, which I think they've only wrestled once in NXT, which was when Lyra won the NXT Championship. That match was good. This match was good. It leaves more to be desired. Lyra somehow wins, which I didn't think was going to happen. She wins. They're going to wrestle again. They're going to wrestle again, and it's going to continue to be good. Do I think it was the best women's match this year? No, because I think we've had one of the greatest women's matches of all time this year already. So, like, it might be number 2, but, like, being number 2 behind the triple threat at Mania is still, oh my god.
Yeah.
Dom and Penta have what is probably my worst match of the night. Guess what? It was still a banger, because it was still Penta and Dom. And I'm not crazy about the finish. Judgment Day comes out to be stupid. Uh-oh.
I'm fully bought in on Penta. I want you to know, I now walk around my house like Penta's walkout. I hit that shit all the time. Bro, I do that shit all the time now. I be walking to the microwave, put my food in that shit just like that.
Him clearing off the table on the one episode of Raw just to do his walk across it.
Yes, oh my god, I love Penta. I'm a luchador fanatic, bro.
But Judgment Day comes out. They have Penta, JD has Penta ready, and Finn's ready to blast him. He says no, and then goes and gets a chair. It takes too long getting the chair. They get caught. They get thrown out. Finn is like, well, no. And then while he's distracted, the greatest luchador of all time, El Grande Americano, comes out and headbutts Penta. He probably has the metal plate under there, and then Dom hits him with the frog splash and wins, which is fine. I'm okay with some filthy, dirty Dom finishes. Eventually, I do want him to win some matches clean, because I think... I understand, okay? I understand from the Triple H and writer's view why you want to keep Dom the way he is. I get it. It works, and it has worked for a long time. This crowd is just ready for him. So I think we can start maybe giving him clean wins. Like, have him fight from underneath, just to test it. If you test it and the crowd rejects it, we go back. It's fine. But, like, they had to make an audible call at WrestleMania for him to celebrate in the ring because of how loud the crowd was cheering. So I think we can do it. I want us to try. And again, if it doesn't work, it's fine. We can go back to the heel. But when that baller turn happens, they need to try to make Dom the face out of that. Because that's what the crowd seemingly wants. So we should do it. So that way we can at least say that we did it. And if it doesn't work, you just turn him back. It's fine. But Penta and El Grande Americano will be fun. Penta's debut match against Chad Gable was amazing, and given how similarly El Grande Americano and Chad Gable wrestle, I think that one will also be a good match. First time ever matchup. They never met in the Grand. They might have met, actually. I don't watch that much AAA. But it's possible that there's an old house show where him and El Grande wrestled.
My level of petty against Dominic Mysterio amazes me. Did you notice how petty I was when you asked me for the predictions?
I don't know if I did. I thought it just said Dom. Did it say something else?
It did just say Dom.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Can you tell? Do you have it in front of you? Do you say it?
I don't. I can pull it back up.
Tell me if you can notice the difference.
Oh, is it that his was lowercase?
Yes. He is not a proper man, so he is not a proper noun. He will never get a capitalization from me.
I love how hard he works you. I love it.
I hate him.
It makes me so happy.
It sucks now because I like Penta a lot.
I mean, that's good. Penta's great. You'll never hear me say anything bad about Penta. I think the reports came out, and I think it's clear they're going that way. They're going to soon move Phoenix over and go for them as a tag team, which I think is fine. The problem is I think there's so much, and I thought this before, when it was like, oh, Penta's deal is up now with AEW, but Phoenix is going to be with them for another year, and I was like, okay, so you're still signing Penta, though. And people were like, well, is it really worth it without a tag team? And I was like, yes.
Yeah, and it has been.
I want everyone to know, Penta has been throughout his entire career. He's been a singles guy more than a tag guy. Yes, it is worth it. It is worth running with Penta as a singles. And I don't think I'm ready for them to tag up yet. I think I want more of both of them singles.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think they'll be able to do both.
Maybe.
I just can't think of a doubles team right now that either one of them guys can run solo that I'm confident in. But I'm confident both those. If they do tag, I still feel confident that they both could.
Yeah. I think my biggest issue is that, I'm afraid they're going to do it on Raw. This is so weird. Raw's tag team scene is buns.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm so we'll put them on SmackDown with all the good tag teams. But that doesn't fix Raw.
Yeah,
we need to put good tag teams on Raw.
What's the best tag team on Raw right now?
I guess there's 4 tag teams, maybe. There's the New Day, there's the War Raiders, there's Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and then there's pick 2 out of the Judgment Day. Who else?
Okay, yeah, so just...
I guess there's the Creeds.
There's just the New Day.
Yeah. I know, the War Raiders are good, but
I don't think anybody's getting excited over the War Raiders.
But compare that to SmackDown's DIY, Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, Fraxium, Los Garzas.
Yeah.
Pretty deadly. And yet they can't put any of those teams on pay-per-view for some reason. Maybe the tag teams should not be roster-specific and should be floating.
I don't hate that. I also don't hate just getting rid of the 2 rosters. So what was it after we got to the Dom and Penta match? What was after that?
Pat and Gunther. This is the match I will not hear criticism on. We can have I can have the discussions with everyone online about Backlash entirely. People being like, well, it was underwhelming, and I was like, I don't know why it is underwhelming. Is it because I don't know what you expected? The only match that felt like the winner was in doubt, they did it so effortlessly, and the match was so good that I think it's fine because, and that's Becky and Lyra.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What I won't hear criticism on is that this match was bad by any stretch of the word. And people come at it from all angles. It's that, well, it didn't impress in the ring, which I think is false. Well, Pat shouldn't got that much offenses. I don't think Pat got that much offense in to begin with. Oh, well, Gunther looked weak. I disagree. I don't know how he looks weak. Well, the match shouldn't have gone that long. I can maybe hear that, but here's my argument to that. Gunther never goes for the pin. It is very clear that this match is going on because Gunther wants to continue beating him down.
Is allowing it to go on, yeah.
And Pat's one flurry. He gets one. He gets a couple of counters that are immediately met with a boot to the fucking face. Yeah. And then he gets one good counter where he gets a few really good kicks in. And Gunther's like, oh shit, that hurt. And then Pat goes for the pin. And the ref doesn't have time to get on his knees to count it before Gunther kicks out. And then Pat gets 1-2 count where Michael Cole is holding down Gunther's legs. And Gunther still kicks out. And then what? Pat gets to fight out of the sleeper hold once because of the power of friendship with Cole. And then what happens? Gunther says, no, fuck you, locks it in, and Pat still passes out. This match was perfect.
Yeah. Is it better than Gunther Jay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And again, this makes me even more frustrated about the WrestleMania match. Because if Gunther has this... Is this match a certified banger? I don't know if I'd give it that because it wasn't quite there. But again, it was Gunther and Pat McAfee. I don't think it's going to be that level. This was a situation where Gunther, Pat, Cole, I don't know who the agents were on the match, but them as well, did everything perfectly. This is what this match should have been. Outside of just Gunther walks in and kills Pat immediately and pins him, this was better. I think this is better for Gunther. I think this is more detestable. More, I am playing with my food because I can, and I'm going to beat respect into you. And then in the end, he almost gives Pat a nod of respect of, you know what? You stood your ground. Because if Gunther has one unmovable, unshakable linchpin of his character, it's that the mat is sacred. What we do is special. So Pat not being a chicken shit and standing his ground and I'm going to fight you, yes, it earns Gunther's respect. Because Pat could have done a bunch of things and he didn't. He fought him and he took his beating like a man.
Yeah. I love Pat.
I don't know what we do with Gunther next. But I think this was the correct thing to do with Gunther post-Mania. Because again, why didn't he just go after Jay? This is the nice side quest to do. While Jay is fighting. Let's move on. This was the Cena match we should have gotten at Mania. And again, maybe it was hotter because the crowd was hotter because it was Randy Orton in St. Louis. I'll buy that, sure. It's just good. Did Cena look good? Yes, maybe not as well as I want Cena to look, but it's become clear that he's not gonna look that good. Randy did a good job selling it with him. This match was overbooked slopped, and I ate that shit right up. They were like, yo, a ref bump. And I'm like, okay. The ref bumps even harder and dies. A second ref comes out and he gets bumped, and I'm like, keep it coming. There better be a third. I was like, I want a third. Give me a third ref. The agents come out. He RKOs everyone. I'm like, oh. They give me the attitude adjustment into the RKO spot. I'm like, oh. Randy Orton steals the attitude adjustment to put him through the announce table, and the announce table doesn't work. So he just pulls out a table and puts him through it, and I'm like, oh, keep going. Truth comes out. Like, this is... Was this match good in ring? Nah. This match was buns in ring. But you know what? The crowd was hot, and I just ate it up. I ate it. They knew what to give me to make me buy into it, and you know what? Fair play.
Yeah.
What a great final encounter between the two. They then teased at the end Cena maybe having a small crisis of faith is, am I doing the right thing?
Him fucking putting R-Truth through the press conference table is my favorite thing that I saw. I was like, this is perfect.
I think I want a little bit more build for that, but I think we're on to it at Money in the Bank, which is like 4 weeks away. Instead of him and Punk, because there's no build for him and Punk yet, and I think they want more build for that match.
You need it, yeah.
So I think they're going to do SummerSlam for that. I'll explain in a few minutes. It's predictable, but I'll explain. Truth and Cena, I think Truth is beloved now, which is nice to see. He's built up this... his childhood hero is John Cena, which doesn't make sense, but because it's Truth, it's so fun. All the way to him tagging with Cena the night after WrestleMania 40. It feels almost like a waste of a John Cena pay-per-view match in his last year, but you know what? It's fun. Let's have a good time.
Yeah.
If we're leaning towards Cena's going to turn face at some point soon, I think it's a good thing to do to get us there.
Yeah.
To be like, what'd Truth do? Because at least Randy, you can be detestable against Randy. He punted your father. Randy's done tons of detestable things. Oh my god, I fucking love this. At the beginning, they're locked up, and John really slyly pokes Randy in the eye, and then Randy's like, Really? And then Cena was up, and Randy just goes, hooks him right back in the eye with no remorse.
I love Randy Orton.
I like Truth and Cena as a fun match. I kind of want them to just do this at this next Saturday night's main event and do a different challenger for Money in the Bank, but I don't think there's enough time to build a good challenger for Money in the Bank, so I understand if we just do Truth and just let Jay be the main event of Saturday night's main event. For once, main event Jey Uso, I know. You probably still won't main event, and it'll be funny.
Yeah.
Now for the bad part of this. There were releases.
Yeah.
Let's get to the one that's not a release. Shotzi has left the company. Hers was not a release. Hers was a contract expiration. It wasn't clear. It sounded like WWE said that they weren't going to re-sign her. I'm not going to sit here and say that Shotzi has done a ton. She got sent back down to developmental at some point. You're going to hear about this a lot with these ones for me, is I don't think there's a lot of releases here that have me, like, shocked or, like, appalled. There's one that I think is a little weird, but also...
There's two that shock me.
Okay, you know what? Maybe I'll give you two. I'm going to complain about them because I have a very specific complaint about them. But to go through, do you want to do them each or do you just want to go through the list?
I go through the list and then we'll pick out ones that we...
I'm going from bottom to top here because that's probably the important ones.
Okay.
Danny Palmer, Javier Bernal, Jakara Jackson, Oru Mensah, Riley Osborne, Eddie Thorpe, all three members of Gallus, that's Joe and Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, Gigi Dolan, Cora Jade, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, and Braun Strowman. A lot of NXT names. The bottom part of those NXT names, that being Riley Osborne, Oru Mensah, Javier Bernal, and Danny Palmer, I haven't seen that. And Gallus. Those are all actual NXT contracts. Two of them I haven't seen on any TV recently, and Gallus, Riley Osborne, or Mensa were on Evolve. If you were on NXT and got moved to Evolve, it's clear that you need to either quickly improve or you're probably getting released because they have not seen improvement from you. Do I think those guys could have improved? I don't know about Gallus. They've been on the roster for a while. Riley Osborne and Oru Mensah feels like we didn't give a shot to. Riley Osborne was part of Chase U, and then they did the story where Chase U broke up. They released Duke Hudson, Thea Hale went missing, and Riley Osborne was also missing until he popped up on Evolve. Feels like we're not giving the chance to people. And it feels like that's what... And Riley Osborne and Oru Mensah were part of what I wanted from Evolve. The lower mid-card of NXT that shows up on TV should be showing up in the main event of Evolve to give that bridge. But I guess it is what it is. Oru Mensah and Jakara Jackson were obviously both part of Metaphor. It was in the stuff for last week after I watched NXT that Metaphor broke up. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe they broke up because they were going to drop two of them. It sucks to see. I thought Oru was really cool. Again, he was another guy that was on Evolve. Jakara Jackson was half of the Metagirls, and while she wasn't the standout for the Metagirls, I'll get to that complaint. I don't know why we released Gigi Dolan and Cora Jade. They were being featured regularly. Cora Jade had injury problems here and there, and it felt like they were building to a big match of stand and deliver between her and Roxanne, which just didn't happen. And then they tagged randomly and Roxanne walked out on her. And then Cora just disappeared from TV and now she's released. It's strange. Gigi Dolan was with Shotzi Blackheart and Tatum Paxley, was part of a team on NXT and was getting regular TV time, and just Mania weekend, Gigi and Tatum had a shot at the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. They lost, but so I don't know why she was released. Big sorries to Tatum Paxley, who both of her tag partners in Gigi Dolan and Shotzi have left the company, and recently mentioned Javier Bernal is her fiance. I don't think they're going to drop Tatum. I hope they don't. She has a bright future and she's doing great, but
all my friends are dead.
Not to mention three quick people from the main roster list. Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, and Shayna Baszler. This is going to lead into Cora Jade, Gigi, and Jakara Jackson. If I were to ask you a question, I'm going to ask you this question.
Okay.
Out of all of the titles on main roster WWE TV, What would be the titles that you say have the weakest divisions?
Yeah, I would.
There's three.
I don't want to say all the women's, because I with the return of Becky Lynch, I feel like the top tier women's title has enough to be interesting. Probably the rest of the women's titles.
The specific answer that I'm looking for is the women's tag belts. I would also have
that too. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about tag teams, but yes.
Exactly. I would have accepted the United States and Intercontinental titles as well. Yeah. So why did we just have releases that have effectively killed like 4 or 5 teams, as well as like take out Dakota Kai, who is the one release that I think angers me.
Okay.
Who literally just wrestled for the Intercontinental title. So I don't know why, and he's also a member of Damage Control who gets featured regularly as well. Like, they just had a thing where Roxanne and Julia laid out Io Sky, and everyone was like, oh, no one's here to help Io. I know someone who could have helped. Shayna Baszler, best years are behind her. Maybe not, but like as far as WWE is concerned, her best years are behind her. She's someone I could see her hit the indies and like immediately make an impact. That's not meant to be a joke, but also it is. Let's talk about Braun Strowman. I don't know if I would have released Braun Strowman. Man's having trouble walking. I think his best years are behind him. I don't think I would have released him, though. I think I would have kept him on retainer for a bit. Until, like, his contract was actually up.
It sucks for Braun because you see the way that when he was interviewed after he came back, and they asked him, well, was the thought to go to AEW? Or he's like, no, I was born to be here. I always felt I was supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Something happened. I was meant to be here. I knew I would be back, and now I'm back. And better than I've ever been, or whatever he said in that clip. And I'm just like, I saw that and cried, bro. Because I know that and I'm not going to act like I know literally anything, but there's no way he's not fucking devastated.
But yeah, and I agree with you. Braun Strowman started to do this control your narrative stuff when he was released before, but like he is just someone that fits the WWE mold so perfectly. And again, it sucks. The last injury, it feels like he never truly recovered it. You can see it in the way he walks and runs. There's something wrong. He's such a professional. Because again, like, you think about what were the last 2 things that Braun Strowman did in WWE?
It was the thing with LA Knight to figure out the number 1 contender, right? Was that the last thing he did?
It was putting over Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
And what did he do before that?
So, yeah,
putting over Bronson Reed. Like,
yeah.
He's someone that I think would have done better being moved into that agent role instead of releasing. If it was time, and again, maybe he was given the option. I
strongly disagree with you. Braun Strowman can be nothing but a wrestler. You cannot put a beast demon monster like him into that mold. He's built to be, I don't know. I don't think I could ever see him as an agent.
I just think that there is and again, maybe I'm just thinking old WWE too much, and the current WWE doesn't have that problem, so they don't need someone like that. Braun Strowman understands and understood what a big man can do and what a big man should and how it should be going. That I think every big man that is about to hit that roster or has hit that roster should be going to Braun Strowman for advice. And I think that's why I go. Like, I don't think I see Braun Strowman sitting down and producing a match between 2 guys. But I could see, like, Obafemi.
I was just about to say,
I could see Obafemi being incredibly helped by someone like Braun Strowman who gets it. Braun Strowman should have had a better career with WWE. I think that goes without saying.
Yeah.
At least he got a world title at some point to his name. It should have happened years earlier. There was a clear moment where it was like, and now you put the belt on Braun Strowman, and they were like, but what if? And it was like, no.
I still love Braun Strowman's run at the Rumble. It's one of my just favorite WWE memories, and I think it's purely because I love Braun Strowman. Yeah. Not that it's actually really good. I love.
He should have won when he was Mr. Money in the Bank or Monster in the Bank. There was where he was like, okay, Roman and Brock, you're going to have your little match at SummerSlam, and then when it's over, I'm going to come down and eat whoever wins. And then the cash-in just doesn't happen. Brock beats him with the briefcase, which was very funny, and then he cashes in for a match against Roman inside of Hell in a Cell. And then Lesnar just comes, rips the door off, and the match ends in a no contest. I was like, I don't want to tell WWE how to do their job.
But that wasn't it.
But, no. Brock should have beat Roman at SummerSlam, and then Strowman should have came down and ate his soul. And then Brock can go away, and he can feud with Roman, and then whenever Brock decides to grace us with his presence, you give us that match straight up. And it doesn't matter who wins, because Braun's gotten to hold the title when he was his hottest for a few months, and then you give us an insane match.
Yeah, the Beast versus the Monster.
And, sure, he got to beat Goldberg in COVID Mania and hold the title for a few months.
Let's just not talk about it.
It's just not the same. And he wasn't his hottest anymore, and it wasn't the same. And again, at least he has that on his resume. He can say he was world champion, which means, in my world, it means an Auto Hall of Fame induction. But,
I hope so.
I think he's earned it anyway. It'll be a few years. We're not going to see him soon if this is retirement for him, which I think it is.